Hello everyone, my name is Nick Zahner and I am the founder of Testing Solutions. I'm also a medical student at Stanford and just wanted to take a moment to welcome you to your CARS Bootcamp. I also wanted to take a few minutes to show you around our online platform and give you some tips on how to get the most out of this course and the platform. We've spent a lot of time over the last 5 years developing these boot camps as well as developing our online platform, and I want to make sure you get the most out of everything we've put into this. So while this might not be the most exciting video, if you can slap on to 2x or 1.5x, speed up my voice a little bit and get through it, I think you'll get a lot out of this. So the very first thing you're going to notice once you log into your course is this Today's Tasks tab here. And we've essentially broken down our entire boot camp into day-by-day bite-sized pieces where you'll have 2 or 3, maybe even 4 tasks to complete each day. As you complete them, they'll check off, and once you complete all the tasks for that day, the next day's tasks will auto-populate. So on this very first screen, whether you have a basic boot camp all the way up to our coaching boot camp and all of them in between, you're going to see the CARS Fundamentals Workshop. And I strongly encourage you to start your prep here. This is a workshop I developed over about 1.5 years of doing live workshops, trying out different material, answering students' questions, and integrating their feedback. And so this is kind of the finished product of what I consider to be the most fundamental skills you need to do well on CARS. This isn't the end point, it's the start point. I think it's a great foundation to build all of your CARS prep on. So it lasts about 5 hours, a little over 5 hours, but you can increase the speed. That's the strength of having a recording. You can also go back and review it as many times as you'd like. So really you could easily get through this in about 3 hours with the practice exercises we include and the practice passage. So I strongly encourage you to start your course there. If you have our Plus, Pro, or coaching boot camps, you'll also notice that we have the self-paced course included here. If you click on the course overview screen, that is all of the day's tasks kind of combined in one place, so you can see what you've completed as well as see where you're going in the future. And so if you ever want to return to a passage or return to a lesson, you can use this screen here to easily navigate to things in the future or things in the past. So if you notice here, after the CARS Fundamental Workshop, we have day-by-day breakdowns. So day 1 is the plan, day 2 breaking down the CARS section, day 3 reviewing and timing, so on and so forth. The self-paced course is really divided over 60 days. There are two kind of blocks to those 60 days. The first 30 days include lessons as well as daily quizzes. And so each day of the first 30 days, we're going to give you between a 20 and 30 minute lesson that's meant to teach you something either about strategy, teach you about the question types on the CARS, the answer pathologies, go into more detail than we could in the CARS Fundamentals Workshop. These two components were really designed to complement each other. One by themselves really isn't enough for most students. You really need to do both to excel and I think achieve your fullest potential. That's the case for most students. So if you did purchase the basic boot camp and decide you'd like to upgrade to include the self-paced course, please feel free to either email us, or there are actually opportunities in the course to upgrade, and I'd really encourage you to think about doing that. For those of you where the self-paced course is included, for the first 30 days you'll complete those lessons and daily passage quizzes. And as you notice, we stair-step up the passage count. So day 1 through 7, we're doing 1 passage a day. Day 8 through, I think, 14, we're doing 2 passages a day, right? So on day 15, day 16, right, we have 2 quizzes, 2 passages grouped together, plus an additional passage. And so what we're doing is we're stair-stepping up the number of passages you do each day, building stamina and focus. Most of us cannot start on day 1 our CARS prep doing 9 passages in a row in 90 minutes, manage our time well, stay focused, answer the questions to the best of our abilities. So over this self-paced course, what we're doing is we're stair-stepping up your ability, kind of like lifting weights. We're adding more weight as we go along. As you add more passages, of course, the amount of time you have for that quiz increases. And so what this does is it allows you to practice managing your time, right? It's much easier to manage your time on 2 passages well than to manage it on 9, right? So we want to build that skill over time. And I think that's one of the strengths of the self-paced course. So notice by the end of 30 days, when we have the lessons, you're going to be doing 5 passages a day. That ends the first part, the first block of the self-paced course, excuse me. But for the second 30 days, what we have is just the quizzes. And the reason is the more passages we add, the more time it takes to do the quizzes and also review. And so what we're doing in that second 30 days is really allowing you to put into practice in a kind of a more deeper way, more similar to the real MCAT, right? As we're adding more passages, getting closer to that test day, allowing you to use what you've learned. And so I strongly encourage you to kind of follow this outline, and notice here by the end of the course, we're doing full-length section tests, 9 full passages at a time, and you'll be that is the MCAT. So by the end of the 60 days, you'll be right where you should be. So I do want to add, though, that for most of our CARS students, they don't quite have 60 days. And so while the optimum kind of scenario we believe, kind of so you aren't too stressed, too aren't rushed, would be to do it in 60 days, the far majority of our students actually need to do something a little more accelerated. And each lesson on each day is designed to take about 30 minutes. So 30 days is 15 hours worth of content. So as you can see, if you were to speed through the content, you could very easily, over a long weekend, right, watch the fundamentals workshop and blast through kind of our lesson content in a short weekend. So while we give you the opportunity to use 60 days, most people kind of accelerate and power through the course, and that is perfectly fine. We see great results with that too. It's more about not being too stressed out if you have that time, that extra time. So that is the course overview screen, and this would be kind of the core of how we offer the boot camp. With that said, we know that there are a range of needs that our customers have, and so what we've done is we've created this course and organized it in a way that's very flexible. So if you decide you don't have time or don't really want to structure your practice around these daily tasks, right? But you still want our lessons, you still want the fundamentals workshop, and you still want the passages, but you want it to be kind of in a more free-form format, what you can do is come over to the Resources tab. And the Resources tab offers you a variety of different options in terms of how to take our passages. So for those of you with the Plus, Pro, and Coaching boot camps, included in your course is 180 unique CARS passages that we have written ourselves. You won't see them anywhere else. They're top notch. We have spent so much time and energy over the years developing these, revising, going back, adding to our explanations, correcting, answer choices that maybe weren't as fair, right? We revise our materials constantly, which I think is a real strength of testing solutions. A lot of companies put out a book and they never revise it, right? We, every MCAT cycle, gather data, gather feedback, and are improving things. This is year 5 of testing solutions, so you can imagine how many times we've revised our passages. So I say all that to say your CARS Bootcamp includes 180 passages. But what we've done is we've given you 3 different ways to take those 180 passages, okay? So the first track that I'm calling it here are these daily quizzes, okay? And 180 passages are included in these daily quizzes. And you'll notice here they stair step up, right? So day 19, we're on 3 passages. Day 26, we're on 4. By day 40, we're on 6. Day 45, 7. Day 58. And right here at the end, we have our CARS full-length section tests, 9 whole passages. Okay, so this is the first kind of track and way you can take those 180 passages. So if you don't want to use the kind of day-by-day task, but you would like the stair-stepping approach, here is 180 passages for you to use and designed in kind of an incremental approach. So that's track 1. Track 2 is us taking our 180 passages and dividing them into full-length exams. Okay, so each one of these has 9 passages, And what we've done here is TR1 has 9 passages, TR2 has 9 passages, TR3 has 9 passages, right? These TR1 through TR14 make up the passages in the daily quizzes, okay? So it's the same 180 passages packaged in different format, right? So we're giving you an option. We're not repeating passages between full lengths, okay? It's more of a format. How are you taking those passages? So those are the TR1 through TR14. But what we have done is set aside the passages for these CARS full-length section tests 1, 2, and 3. These passages are not used anywhere else, okay? So if you are to take TR5, TR6, and TR7, and then you decide, oh, I want to do the daily CARS quizzes, we do need to warn you that you may see some of the passages used in these quizzes used in the daily quizzes, right? That will not occur with section test 1, 2, or 3. Okay, these are standalones, and we've given these here as kind of set aside so you don't have to worry about that redundancy. So it is good early on in your course to make a decision about which track you want to take in terms of how you want to take those 180 CARS passages. Finally, track 3 is just individual passages. So it's all of the passages, boom, 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 one after the other. So full length 1, passage 1. That's the first passage of full length 1, right? If I come down here, full length 2, passage 2. That's the second passage of full length 2. Full length 3, passage 4. TR6, TR1, passage 6, so on and so forth. And so you can kind of jump back and forth between full lengths and individual passages, the different tracks, if you keep an eye out for what you've already used, right? So let's say you took TR1 as a section test. You wouldn't want to do those individual passages, right? But you could start doing individual passages on TR2, right, and do all the individual passages for this, and then you could jump back and maybe take full length as TR3, so on and so forth. So you have a lot of flexibility here about how you can take those 180 passages. You can take them all as full lengths, you can take them individually, or you can use our incremental stair-step approach, okay? Then if you go down here to lessons, right, this includes all 30 days of lessons in one place, as well as the CARS Fundamentals workshop. So if you decide you don't want to use our kind of incremental day-by-day approach to the course, you can just come here and you can see all of the content in one place. You can go through as many lessons as you'd like in a row, as well as the Fundamentals workshop. So this is a great way to kind of see all the content in one place. You won't have the daily quizzes kind of cluttering things up. Those are up above, so you can kind of decide and customize when you do what. So that's where to find the lessons. Now, for those of you who upgraded your account to include the full-length MCATs, those are found right here at the top of the Resources tab. Okay, these are not just CARS section tests. They include all 4 sections on the MCAT. So Bio, Biochem, Chem Phys, right, Psych, Soc, and CARS. None of the CARS passages are included anywhere else in the course. These are completely novel, completely new. You won't have seen them anywhere. So we spent a ton of time writing these practice tests. Over 15 people were involved in the process of writing them. We're really proud of the product, and we think that you will like them too. So if you got those upgraded, great. If you didn't, feel free to email us if you'd like us to add those to your account. There's a slight fee, of course, upgrade fee, and there are also options to do that in your course. But we strongly recommend you check these out. They're much more cost effective than some of the other companies charging kind of crazy prices for their practice tests. And I dare say, while I'm biased, I think they're really high quality. So in addition to the full lengths up here, we've done this kind of same breakdown approach where you can take the individual passages here. Okay, so full length Psych Soc, passage 1, Persuasion, right there. That's the first passage, right? You can do that, so on and so forth throughout this entire kind of passage set. So that's a nice way, if you want, to break up some of the tests and do kind of honed in specific topics. In addition, as we're writing new passages, we also add those. So ones that haven't been assigned to a full length yet, these are just completely novel new passages not included in the full length. So if you also want a little practice in addition to the full lengths, you know, each one of these has between 5 and 10 extra passages that aren't included anywhere else. So a really great value. You'd be hard pressed to find that many passages, really high quality passages for that price. The final thing I'd like to point out about your course is our MCAT video library in this green tab here. And you'll notice we've got a three-day free trial. That's hard to say all at once. And basically, you click that button, it's going to unlock all these, and you get 3 days to try out our videos. We have gone through the entire AAMC outline and explained every topic in these bite-sized 10 to 15-minute videos. You come in here, you want to know more about carboxylic acids, boom, there you go. You want to know more about alcohols or alcohol, we've got those topics covered, right? Each one of these is outlined with timestamps, so you can hone in very quickly to the topics you want, and we have every section covered. So you're going to learn organic chemistry, you're going to learn biochemistry, chemistry, physics, right? Psych, soc, everything. This is an incredible resource. We have worked very hard to put this together, and this is the first year we're selling this, so we are using an introductory price. It's very cost effective. This is essentially like kind of a full built-out Kaplan course and a very, very cost-effective kind of upgrade. So you hit that free trial, check it out. You have nothing to lose if you do the free 3-day trial, and then it's just a click of a button to upgrade it and add it to your course. One other thing I'll add is built into this MCAT library are what we call apply sessions, and that is where you take an MCAT passage that on our quiz platform, and then one of our tutors through a video breaks down that passage. It goes line by line, question by question, showing you the strategy, the ideas that you need to pull out of that. So it's a great way to couple learning new content and then applying it with passages and discrete questions. So that is the MCAT video library. Finally today, what I want to show you to do is how to use our quiz platform. This is one of the strengths of Testing Solutions, so don't leave me just yet here. So we're going to pull up a passage and we're going to go through it together. Okay, so this is the quiz screen, and you'll see this every time you start a quiz or practice test. And we have directions up here if you need them. We also include kind of another summary in text of what I was talking about in terms of the different tracks. And so if you need a second refresher on how to do the tracks, you can see that in any of the quizzes or tests. But basically what we have here are some timing options for how to take the quiz. So at base, we strongly recommend you always take passages timed, and you take them under test conditions. That's our general recommendation. We believe that pretty strongly. With that said, we know a lot of our customers are going to be having test accommodations, so the time interval is going to change. Or you may feel that you need to take a different approach to CARS and want to start taking passages under different timing conditions. While that's not our recommendation, we also realize that every student has different needs, and you are going to probably know best what you need. So with that said, with a click of the button, you can change the timing intervals. You also can add this Show Answers feature, which gives you a button in the top right corner where you just click that and it instantly shows the answer to that question. So it's a way to kind of interactively go through the passages. And then finally, if you want to use custom time, you can just type in however many minutes you'd like to add to the section. So if it's a section full-length test, that's 90 minutes. If you put in 10 here, you're going to have 100 minutes for the section. So this allows you to really fine-tune however much time you want to give yourself. Again, I'll just say it one last time. Our recommendation is just to use the normal time settings. We think it's really important that your practice from day one is similar to test day conditions, but again, we'll trust you to use these features wisely. So let's go ahead and start the quiz and take a look here. So here we have our quiz screen. It probably looks pretty familiar. It's quite similar to the real MCAT. So this is kind of the interface that you should expect on test day, more or less. So a few features I want to show you. First, we have this nice pause button here that's just going to stop the clock. If you need to use the restroom or grab a drink, you can just hit pause at any time and not mess up your timing. This unfortunately won't be a feature on test day, so use it wisely, but you can just hit pause to pause it at any time. Second, in the top right corner, we have a feedback icon. And again, notice it stops the time, so you're not going to be messing yourself up by hitting feedback. But what this does is it allows you to write us a comment, a question. If you're having a technical issue, if you think a question needs to be explained in a different way, think it's unfair, something like that, just let us know and we can respond and give you feedback on that. It's linked to your account, so we already have your email address. We know what question you're talking about. It's all built in. So it's very simple. Just write some text in there and we're going to know what you're talking about. So very straightforward. Okay, so those are kind of the features here of feedback and pause. And then in addition, of course, we have our highlighting, which is essential to doing well, I think. You can use that, that highlight button in the top corner, or, and this is really what we recommend you do, you learn to use the keyboard shortcut. So Alt-H automatically highlights text. So we recommend that you do that Alt-H, okay? That will instantly highlight. And then also the strikeout feature here, you can click the button or you can hit Alt-S, okay? So if I wanted to strike out, let's say answer choice 2, very straightforward. You can use these features on the question stems, the passages, the answer choices, just like on the real MCAT. You also have the option to flag or mark a question, right? So you can do that as well. You can go through, answer as many questions, previous, next, and then we also have this review feature here. It's going to show you what questions you've marked, which questions you've not answered, right, and then which ones you have answered. So we've gone through, we've answered a couple questions. You can also, of course, click review incomplete, so it'll take you to the first question that you haven't answered, so that's a great feature as well. So let's go ahead and finish this quiz, and then we will go through some of the review features. So whenever you review a test, this will be the screen you get here. So on actual tests, you'll get a scaled score and a percentile. With these daily quizzes, you just get a % correct and number of correct. Unfortunately, I didn't guess well, so we're really in the hole here, but that's okay. But this will be kind of the screen that gives you feedback on your performance. So a few things I want to focus on. First, it's going to tell you how many questions you marked. It'll tell you how much time you spent on each question, as well as the passage as a whole. This is particularly useful if you have a full-length test and 1 or 2 passages really messed you up. If you notice you spent a ton of time on passage 3, that should really guide your review, and you can zoom in and say, what was hard about question 5 of passage 3? I spent 5 minutes on question 5. Why is that, right? These features really are useful, and I strongly recommend that you use them to guide your review, okay? In addition to this, you're going to see these feedback bars throughout the course. And this is a way for you to gain feedback points, that circle on the home screen that ticks up every time you leave us a feedback point. If you reach 750 feedback points, you get your course for free. Okay, so this is a great benefit to you guys just by giving us some good quality feedback. It improves the course for future students. It allows us to know kind of crowdsourced wise what questions are awesome and which questions maybe we need to take a second look at. We've been doing this for years. We've had over 100,000 data points based on these feedback, and it's been wonderful for the quality of our questions. So for every quiz, we encourage you to just take a moment, think about it. How similar was this to the AMC, right? That's all I want you to think about. How similar was this? And then give us a 1 to 5 rating, okay? One thing I do ask is that you take this seriously. We're spending a lot of money giving these refunds, and also it really jeopardizes the quality of our data analysis if we have people just clicking 5 all the time. So we really encourage you, if it is 5, great. We put a ton of work in, so we really want you to, be honest. But if it's a 5, great. If it's not a 5, tell us so we can identify weaknesses and, send in our test writers to review things and make things better. So anytime you see one of these bars, get yourself an extra free review point. It adds up very quickly, and you can get the entire product for free. Okay, so let's go through and review a little bit. So what we have engaged right now is what's called training review mode, and this is a great feature. No one else in the market on MCAT has this feature, okay? So this is unique to Testing Solutions, and I think it's a wonderful feature. With training mode engaged, we don't tell you what the correct answer is. If you've missed the question, all you're going to see is your answer choice, and it highlighted in red. So you actually don't know which of the other three answer choices are correct, right? So this is a great opportunity for you to think about what's the correct answer, right? And to rework your reasoning, right? Try to identify, what did I miss here, right? What was the problem? And then once you're ready, once you think you found the correct answer, right? You've retraced your steps, you've found your error in thinking, right? Then you can click that show answer explanation, and it's going to show you the correct answer, right? So we come down here and C was correct, okay? Then you can check your reasoning, and hopefully you were able to find the correct answer. This is the number one way to improve on CARS, is retracing your steps, thinking through, and it's a great feature, right? A lot of the test platforms out there, they just tell you the right answer and then you're done, right? And that's great, but it doesn't allow you to improve, okay? So that just clicking that button will show you that answer explanation. Now let's say that's not something you want to do. That's fine. All you've got to do is just click off that switch, and by default you'll just see the answer choices correctly. Okay, so you get to decide if you use that feature or not. We encourage you to use it. We think it's a really great feature, but it's up to you. Another thing here, you'll notice that this is a question-specific feedback bar. You'll get a feedback point every time you click this. Just take a moment, think about the question, the quality of the question, and you're to the races. So very easy way to get through the course as well as get it for free. So I want to show you a few review features we have, the strengths of the testing solutions approach to CARS. So first of all, if you scroll down here, every passage is going to have these passage notes down below here. Okay, something unique. No other company does this, but we think it's important because so often students struggle to read a passage and they're like, what is this about, right? And then they don't have any resources to help them think about it. So what we have here, this first part are kind of the passage outline. So it tells you the topic, tells you the type, it tells you how difficult we think the passage is, the word count, right? Most CARS passages are between 500 and 600 words, so you can kind of get a sense, was this a long or a short passage? Then we kind of give you a brief summary of the passage in terms of strategy. This isn't going to summarize the passage. This is going to tell you kind of what was difficult about this passage, what should you be looking for in future passages similar to this. So it's a great feature. Then we have 3 links here below. If you are wanting to do our keyword review that we teach in the self-paced course, or if you just want to have the passage in printout form, you can download a PDF of the passage just by clicking here. It'll take you directly to a PDF. You just print it off, you've got it. Okay. In addition to that, we have review worksheet. It's kind of a worksheet that guides you through our review process that we outline in the self-paced course. So you can download that here. And then we also have a tips handout sheet that kind of summarizes how we think you should review passages. So all of that is right here, easily downloadable. In addition to that, we have paragraph summaries. So every paragraph in the passage is going to have a summary here of the key point, the reason that we think that paragraph was written, kind of what the author's doing there, what you should really take away. Okay, this allows you to double check, was I on the right track with that, my understanding of that paragraph? And hopefully most of the time you are, but in case you're not, you have a resource you can reference to correct and see where you went wrong. Okay. In addition to that, we have for every passage a breakdown of what we call painting your way to the main idea. This is a strategy we outline in the self-paced course, and every passage demonstrates how we would paint our way to the main idea for this passage. And so again, it offers you a reference. And then finally, with the passage summary, you can get in a 1 or 2 sentence format the summary of what we think that key idea of the passage is, kind of the main thesis, the central point. So a lot of great information, a lot of time spent not only finding great passages that really represent what the AAMC is like, the AAMC MCAT is like, but also really detailed analysis of every passage in a way that you won't be able to find anywhere else on the market. When we come to answering questions, we have our reviews down here, and basically we're always going to tell you what type of question it is. We're going to tell you the difficulty. We'll give you some notes on the question, and these notes usually are more about telling you how to solve this type of question, right? We're trying to help you learn patterns, to recognize things. So it'll talk about how to answer the question in front of you, but really even more than that, we're trying to teach you what to do in the future when you encounter a question like this one down the road. Then in addition to that, every answer choice is going to tell you either why it's correct, why it's wrong, it's going to tell you the difficulty, and then it's also going to tell you the type of answer choice, that's why it's incorrect, right? We go through in the self-paced course kind of identifying this type of answer choice, and this is why it's wrong, right? An exaggeration, it's incomplete, it's irrelevant, it's not supported, right? And so each one of these answer choices is going to give you that feedback. Okay, so a ton of information and resources to use as you review. If you want to go back, you can see kind of the overview of your quiz. And the last thing I want to show you, the last feature, is this efficient review button. And this is a great feature if you want to speed through your reviews. It's going to skip every question you get correct. So efficient review will show you questions you either marked, right? And so you really should use that marked feature for identifying questions you struggled with, or it'll show you questions you get wrong. But any question you get right, it's just going to skip you over that because we assume you didn't need to review that question since you got it right. Or for ones you're unsure of, the kind of the maybe or the borderline, use that mark feature to label them. So efficient review is a great way to speed through if you're under a little bit of time pressure. So finally, I just want to show you again here, we have this feedback bar, and if we come back to feedback points right here on your home screen, as you fill out those feedback bars and build up points, that number is just going to tick up here. When you have 750, just send us a screenshot. We'll refund you your course. It's that simple. So that is the overview. I know a long video. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. But this is the CARS Bootcamp. This is our platform. We are very happy to answer any questions you have about the course, so please feel free to email us. If there's anything we can do to help, we're so grateful that you chose Testing Solutions. We want to help you succeed, and we're wishing you the very, very best of luck on your MCAT. Thanks, guys.